Hi you guys, I'm Jodi and welcome to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here today. So if you are new to my channel, thanks so much for stopping by. This channel is all about helping busy and ambitious women and moms keep their lives moving forward and looking their very best along the way. So it's quick, short pieces of information on the latest beauty trends and techniques and products and tools and latest industry news. This video today is all about luxury items in the tinted moisturizer category. Now, the new look for 2022, especially for more mature women, is all about a natural, fresh kind of glow within. We're moving away from that full coverage matte foundation, which for me is a little bit of anxiety because I love my full coverage foundation. I have been splitting it in half and diluting it a little bit with a moisturizer, which I'll walk you through today. But today is more on the luxury side. I typically stay on the drugstore side of things because that's just what's more comfortable and affordable for me and for the majority of my audience. But I also wanted to highlight some top tinted moisturizers that are more in a higher price point. And by higher, I mean, I think the least expensive one I have here is $35, but it is a good tinted moisturizer, as all of them are. So if that is a video that is interesting to you, if you're in the market for a more luxurious tinted moisturizer while giving you that healthy, dewy, glowy, sun-kissed look in the dead of winter, then this video is for you. So the first tinted moisturizer is from one of my favorite foundation brands, and that's YSL. I use YSL All Hours foundation in B40. I don't remember what it was. Everything's neutral, but that is a B40. And so I love YSL's foundation. It is a full coverage. I usually use half foundation and half moisturizer. So I was really excited when the new YSL tinted moisturizer came on the market. This one retails for $38 and comes in 20 shades, so I was really excited about that. It is said to have a light to medium coverage and a soft semi-matte finish. So I am not into matte finishes as much anymore as I was, in 2020 and kind of come out of it in 2021. But the coverage is really good, and you'll see I have that freckle there. Well, I just covered it up. There's a freckle there. And this coverage is really good in terms of the way, there it is, you can still see it, the way it covers, and it feels very, very lightweight. Now, the reason this was one of my top picks is not only because I love the YSL Up All Night foundation, but because of how light it feels on the skin. And you really can't feel it when it's on my skin, and I can't really see it either. It dries down to a really nice sort of semi-matte glossy finish, so it does help you with that glow from within type look. This was one that I highly recommend. So I've been a huge fan since it came out, and I wear it in color, this is color 4. So you can see it doesn't oxidize. It's a nice soft feel to the skin, and that will stay that color all day. I don't ever have to blot around this. And I do have combination skin. I'm definitely combination. I'm more oily around my nose and a little bit on my forehead, and on my chin is probably where I get the most shine. I do wear a primer underneath this, just in those areas, again around my nose and on my chin, just to fill in any gaps and some gaps. They're wrinkles. Let's just call them what they are. They're wrinkles, but sometimes they feel like big gaps. So I will use a primer with this, and again, this retails for $38 and one of my favorites. The next one, we're going up in price point, but this is probably, of these three, this is like the best of the best. And this is the one that I reach for the most. This one is $40. It's Chanel's Tinted Moisturizer. Now, this comes in 3 colors, and the reason is because it's more of a moisturizing tint. So I'm not sure if that falls in the moisturizer category or if it falls more in the tinted moisturizer category, but because it's only 3 shades at $40, SPF of 30, it does have, I think it's more of like a tint to me, but I use this with a little bit of, I use the medium. So I will just put a dot of it, and then I will use it with my Moisturizing Daily Moisturizer by La Roche-Posay. And this is the Double Repair Face Moisturizer. And all these will be linked below, of course. And I just do a little bit of both, so I kind of mix them 50-50. And then I put this all over my face. Now, the reason I'm doing my hands today is because I couldn't give a fair enough place on my face to do 3 different formulations and have you get a sense to really see what they look like. This one I love because when you compare it to the YSL, it's still equally as pretty, but I do feel like this Chanel one just gives a little bit of a glow to the skin above what the YSL one does. Now, it does have good coverage. It's light to medium coverage. So while they just call it a moisturizing tint, I think it's as thick as any tinted moisturizer, but because it only comes in the 3 shades, it just kind of makes you wonder how would you add it. It comes in a light, medium, and dark, so you can make it darker and more intense in its dark color by adding more drops of it. And same if you get the medium, but it's maybe a little bit too warm, then you can add a little bit of moisturizer to cut it. So it does allow you to customize it some, and because of the thinner consistency of the formulation, I would feel comfortable saying you could dilute the intensity or make it more intense by having more product, less moisturizer. So there is some wiggle room in there. You guys know me, I'm not a fan of anything that comes in limited colors. But this is becoming a big favorite of mine as we are in the winter months and I'm trying to move from such a full coverage. I've gone to this one quite a bit. And then the third one, now this may not be a surprise to anybody, but I was in Sephora recently and I said, what is your #1 selling foundation above anything else? And she without a doubt went to the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. Now, maybe you guys know about this. I've tried Ilia foundations before, but not this one. And I said, well, what are people saying about it? Why is it such a big seller? Now, I'm in Washington State, so that may not be the best-selling foundation in your Sephora, but she walked right to this and said, oh, hands down, this has been our #1 seller for over a year. And I said, okay, well, what is it that people are liking about it? And she said that because it has the hyaluronic acid in it, people are reaching for it more because it does have that nourishing ingredient in it. Now, it's $48. It comes in 40 shades, so I love it for that reason. And you just shake it well, and it, again, because it has that hyaluronic acid, I think it does make a big difference. It comes in a droplet applicator, which I do love that. And I have more freckles to cover. So we're just gonna put a little drop of it here, and I'm gonna cut that. It's a little runny, you can see. So I'm gonna, actually let's not cut it with any moisturizer. Let's just see how it covers up the freckles. So you guys can see, maybe you love your freckles, and if you do, I mean, maybe you don't wanna cover up your freckles. And I think as I get older, aren't they really, they're age spots? I didn't like freckles, but now that I realize that they're called age spots as I get older, I'm like, oh no, those are freckles. So we can never get satisfied. So anyway, that has really, I think, nice coverage as well. It dries down to a little bit more matte, definitely more matte than the Chanel. There's the Chanel, there's the YSL, and then there's that Ilia. You guys, these are 3 of my top favorite, and I have looked at tinted moisturizers from a wide array of price points. And if I didn't mention, this one's $48. So if you're in the market for a luxury tinted moisturizer, this would be my top recommendation. And again, that face moisturizer, if you're looking for a good face moisturizer, this La Roche-Posay is now my favorite. I use the sunscreen of this, which you will see linked down below in the description box under my staples. And then I use this as my all-over moisturizer. And depending on which foundation I'm using, I will use this half moisturizer, half foundation if it's a full coverage foundation. And if it's one of these tinted moisturizers, then I will put this on first, and then I'll put on my tinted moisturizer. Now, if you are looking for more of a drugstore price point, I don't know if It Cosmetics would be really considered drugstore. It's a little more pricey than drugstore. This one's $30 right now, the CC cream. I do love this one a lot, but I have to say that it's a little thicker in its consistency than any of the other ones that I just highlighted, and I'm not a fan of that. So it does go on a little bit more full coverage than I would prefer, now that there are some better ones on the market. And by better, I just mean thinner consistency. So this does have good coverage. It just, take my bracelet off now that I've got makeup on everything. Okay. It does have good coverage. It's a CC cream, so in fairness, it's a little thicker coverage than the tinted moisturizers. But if you're looking for something a little bit more in the drugstore price, but you're looking for something that has some good coverage, but not heavy full coverage, then 8 Cosmetics CC Cream is always a nice option for you. I hope this was a helpful video. If you are on the market for luxury items, those would be my top picks for tinted moisturizer. I am putting together a video, so stay tuned for drugstore tinted moisturizers, and that will be coming up in the next couple weeks as we get ready to shed our winter clothes and get more into that fun, dewy, sun-kissed glow from within type look that 2022 is all about. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I feel like I go into like the commercial part of my video when I end it like this, so I'm not going to do any of that. You guys know what to do. If you like the video, subscribe. Other than that, I'll leave the ending just to the ending. Have a good rest of your day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.